What is the story, everybody? This is Jonathan and Sean and Carl from Team ChainBlock coming at you with yet another deck profile. But as always, before we get into it, please like, comment and subscribe. And please check out the links in our description where you will find a link to Kong's card and you can take advantage of our discount code ChainBlock5. Most recent set, or set coming out soonest, is the new Tins. Rage of Abyss will be followed shortly after. So yeah, keep this in mind and save yourself some money. So, Sean, what do you have for us today?
So I've been playing Runick Whitewood recently with quite a lot of success. I've won a few locals with it, waiting for a regional to come up. Yeah. And I think I've come across a pretty solid list here. So
it definitely seems popular at the moment. Right, let's go.
So starting off with the Runick engine, we play quite a heavy package. We're on 3 tip, 3 destruction, 3 flashing fire, 3 slumber,
sweet,
3 freezing curses, 2 dispelling, 1 smiting storm, and 2 fountain.
Okay.
You just want as many names as possible. You constantly want to be triggering the draws, and all of these represent a non-tuner as well as interaction.
I think all the Joshua Smith fans will know what this does at this point, so yeah.
The one thing that isn't standard is the 2 dispelling. A lot of decks search right now, and being able to hand rip while getting your Runicks off is pretty nice.
Yeah, fair.
So then onto the Whitewoods. You're on a much smaller package of these than you would in, for example, the toy version.
Yeah.
But they recur themselves, and you're playing more of a Runick deck anyway, like the bulk of your interaction is
coming
from that.
You've like, what, 20, 21, 22 Runick cards, so that makes
Something
sense.
like that.
Yeah.
So we're on 2 Elza.
Sweet.
This is the best one, but you wouldn't play 3.
Yeah, fair.
Because you would have to play so many more names to justify 3.
Fair.
We're on the 1 Esteller. This isn't standard in the Runick builds, but I liked having the extra name as well as the extra 2, and it comes back from grave by itself pretty naturally during the course of gameplay, so it represents quite a few bodies during the grind game, which a lot of the time in this deck you are, because you have the Runick problem of struggling to close out games because you lose the battle phase.
So remind me, and maybe casual people who haven't been keeping up to date in this deck, the main deck monsters special summon themselves back by Tribute and Synchros, is it?
So I'll just show the ratios and then explain. So we're also on 3 Sylvie and 2 Rusha.
Yeah.
So the level 2s are the non-tuners, the 4s are the tuners.
Yeah.
Both of the 4s share an effect where from grave they can shuffle back a Whitewood Synchro.
That's it, yeah.
To special themselves, as in, like, but they're negated, right?
Yeah, fair.
Then this one doesn't have a summon condition, but you can send a spell trap from your hand or field to the grave to special a tuner, so one of these from the deck. And then while it's in grave, if a spell or trap card is sent to the grave as cost for a monster effect, which all of these will do, as well as a couple other generic cards, it can special for free. This is the best one. Send a spell or trap from hand or field, special it, and then add a white forest from deck to hand.
Cool.
And then during your opponent's turn, if a light spellcaster tuner is special to your field, which is the level 6 Synchros or these guys, you can add it back to hand. And then their individual effects. When this one is normal or special, you can add a White Forest spell trap from deck to hand.
Right.
And this one can special if you control a White Forest monster, and you can send a spell or trap from your hand or field to the grave to draw one.
Right, okay, that's where the toy box synergy comes in, that's where you go.
Yeah.
Cool.
So all of these are really solid. Sylvia and Elza are the starters, but you kind of want to see 2 of these, it doesn't really matter which, in your opening hand with a couple of Runicks.
Cool.
Then for the spells and traps, you just play the 1 Tails and the 1 Woes.
Cool.
So Tails adds a White Forest monster from deck to hand if you control an illusion or spellcaster. And they both share an effect where if they're sent as cost for a monster effect, they can set themselves back to field.
Yeah.
And then this one, you special summon a White Forest from hand or deck, and then synchro a White Forest Synchro, all the 1 effect.
That's really good. Fair.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then again, the shared effect to reset to field. So you don't lose advantage the first time you send one of these.
Right. Really cool.
So you'll add one of those off Sylvie, you'll send it for a different Whitewood effect, it'll reset to your field, and then you'll use it.
Awesome.
Then technically this isn't a Whitewood card, but they can search light spellcasters or illusions.
Yeah, it's just the...
This is the 1 Iris Sword Zone.
Sword Zone, yeah.
So if you control, or well, if a monster whose effects are negated is on the field, you can special summon this from your hand. Really which you always will because the 4s summon themselves back negated, right? Then if your opponent specials a monster, you can activate one of the effects. So if it was special from hand, you can special a monster from hand. If it was special from deck, you get to draw 2.
And then
that's
it pops
the really
the
good
ED one, doesn't it?
If it's extra deck, it pops one.
No, I've been hit with this card before.
It's also a level 8, which just means you can get to your bigger synchros quicker. It's very nice.
Cool.
And then for the generics, we've got 2 talent,
Nice.
1 callboy.
Sweet.
Very good. You're not on hand traps, so you kind of just want to counter them.
Okay.
And then 3 evenly.
Love to see it.
You just main deck this. It's your go and second card. If you see it, you're good.
Yeah.
1 black goat laughs.
Yep.
Generically good card, and you send it from hand to gain advantage, and then you use the brave effect.
Nice.
And then this deck has a unique kind of property that it shares with Snake Eyes, which is that it can send
Floodgates
spells and
away
traps.
from cost.
So you send your floodgates, and you're not playing under them. So you kind of dictate the pace of the game with those.
Yeah.
I was previously on 3 copies of Skill Drain. This is the only card we lost on the list. So if you see it, you see it. And then to replace it, I didn't want to go back up to 3 so I could fit the second talents. So we play 1 Tikaboo. You actually play under this pretty nicely because you're not under it on your first turn. So all the Whitewoods are spellcasters.
Yeah.
So you do your Whitewood stuff turn 1, and then the Runicks don't share types, most of the Synchros don't. Once you're established, this card is pretty much unbeatable, and again, you kind of just send it if you don't want to play under it.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's the main deck. Super solid. Don't think I'd change anything in it.
Nice.
The only change I would consider is possibly dropping the second Dispelling to play a second Black Goat, because that card has been
It's
very
really good. Yeah.
So onto the extra. For the Whitewoods cards, we're on 1 Arshella.
Yeah.
So both of the 6s are tuners, and we're on the 1 silver. So these are both tuners. So you use these to ladder up,
Yeah.
and you're putting them back. You only need to play 1 because you put them back to summon 4s.
Yeah.
So you get to summon each of these once per turn, pretty much. When this one's specialed, you can send a spell or trap to add a White Forest card
Right.
or a light spellcaster. So usually you're getting the Iron Sword Soul off that. And then while it's on field, Illusion and Spellcaster Synchro monsters gain 500 attack, and they can't be destroyed by card effect.
That's really good.
This one is nuts.
Yeah.
You're summoning this off woes on your opponent's turn a lot of the time, and going second is the first thing you summon. On summon, it's Book of Eclipse.
I was gonna say, I was waiting for the Book of Eclipse. What a stupid card.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
And then this also gives Illusion and Spellcasters 500 attack.
Oh.
And if they attack a defense position, you give it gives them double piercing battle damage.
That's disgusting.
So it books everything, and then you do double damage over them in defense.
Sweet.
So it's really, really good at enabling OTKs. Again, if you have both of these up, everything's boosted by a K, does double battle damage, can't be popped. Then, again, not a Whitewoods card, but we're on the 1 Tri-Edge Master.
Really good card. I knew this card would have its moment. It's really good. Very good.
It's very solid. You basically get to play either this or Coral Dragon.
Yeah.
Space-wise, you kind of can't fit both. I suppose you could make a cut, but I didn't want to. They both kind of do the same thing in being 6 that draws. It's just the difference is 1 is a tuner, 1 isn't.
Yeah.
I like this one because with one of your 4s, which you're summoning back,
It's a 10.
you make a 10 with
Yeah,
it.
sweet.
And in the Runic variant specifically, there's a very, very good 10 you want to be on. Then we're on the 1 Diabel.
Yeah, it's a great card.
This is the Whitewoods boss. It's excellent.
Yeah.
So if you synchro using a tuner synchro, so either of those guys, you can target a spell or trap in grave, add it to hand.
Sweet.
Yeah. And then when your opponent activates a card or effect, as a quick effect, you can send a spell trap to special a level 7 or lower tuner synchro from extra deck, grave, or banished.
That's ridiculous. Like
Either of these.
I've seen people playing 3 Foolish Burial Goods to send Skill Drain to then add off this card.
You can absolutely do stuff like that.
It's just really good. It's so funny.
It gets any spell or trap. So
Yeah.
realistically, you can get whatever you want, and if you want to jig the deck around that, you can. In the Runic variant, a lot of the time you're just adding back a tip or whatever,
Yeah.
or a floodgate you've already sent, or because you're only on 1 of each, you're often adding back tail or woes to
Yeah.
recycle them because they represent 2 sends each.
Pretty good.
And then to summon off that,
The Shrimp.
we also have the Shrimp.
The Shrimp
the
Zapper.
best card in Info.
Yeah.
Because it's a shrimp. So this guy's just a level 2 tuner.
Yeah.
On summon, you can send a card from hand or field to grave. and pop a spell trap your opponent controls.
It also sounds really good, yeah. Cool.
Yeah, so again, this guy he can be MST on summon if you want. And then once per chain during your opponent's main phase, you can quick sync with him.
Great.
So that's what you're
Really
using
good.
it for. To quick sync into, we have Chaos Angel.
Fair.
Most of the time you're making this with double lights, for example, Shrimp and Diabel.
Yeah.
But you can do it with a Dark as well, if
Cool.
you are trying to get that protection. It's really solid, you know, it's in a lot of decks for a good reason. Protecting your stuff in this deck as well is just really good because you can kind of cycle into anything you need at any given time.
Yeah.
So guaranteeing that they all go off is
Survive
really
and
good.
stuff. Yeah, really cool.
And then in every Runick deck that can make him, you should be on Chaining.
Yeah, that's...
When you can
fair.
banish anything on command, this card is unbelievably strong.
Yeah.
Not to mention, he gets massive and makes your opponent's guys tiny.
He's probably arguably just a little bit better than him, the best level 10 we have now.
I would agree with that. Yeah,
Yeah.
with Barone gone, I think Chang Ying is, at the very least, the strongest, if not the most applicable in every
Yeah,
deck.
fair.
So that's all the Synchros. You don't need more because, again, you're putting back all three of those Whitewood Synchros whenever you need to.
Cool.
For the Runick cards, triple Hugin. You could technically go to 2, but this is a
has
level
that-
2 non-tuner,
it has
and it's
application, yeah.
extremely relevant.
Yeah.
Also, a lot of the time, you are winning games off deck out after just depleting your opponent's resources.
I've seen it.
So when this guy is destroyed on field, he just goes back to the extra.
Yeah.
So he means that like every single Runick spell is able to chump block your opponent for 1 attack.
It's really good.
So you can just delay forever off that. And then again, obviously searches the field spell on someone. It also discards as cost.
Right.
So you can discard one of the White Forest spell traps, and it will reset.
Cool.
Then we're on the 1 Gary.
Yup.
This adds back the field spell from Grave in the grind.
He's a good boy.
When it's destroyed by battle, you can pop a card, so if you use it to chump block, you can out something
Yeah.
that's problematic. But the other thing is he is not only a level 4, but a Dark, which means
Yeah.
him plus any of your level 6 Synchros makes the Chaos Angel for both.
Yeah, it's really good.
And then finally, we're on the 1 Munin.
Okay.
It's just a 5th target summon, but most importantly, it wins in time.
Yeah.
You can't underrate that. Then 1 Link, we're on the SP Little Knight. You don't really need more than 1.
Yeah.
But this card is kind of too strong not to play.
Yeah. Hopefully they don't get limited too. Don't want to have some limited SP nights around there, you know?
Yep. And then we have the 1 Typhon.
Sweet.
Going second in Runick Heavy Hands, you just normal whatever you have and then
Leave him.
make this guy
Yeah.
and then play Runick. And finally, Baguska. You make him if you get
Oh, yeah, there's level
debarred.
4s. It's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's really solid. He slows the pace of the game down, which again is just what you're trying to do a lot of the time. But also, this deck can be pretty explosive. You can get a lot of those synchros very quickly, and Silvera allows you to OTK in the White Forest Heavier Hands. And then, so that's the main and extra.
We'll do a little bit of
Very
side.
solid. I'll just quickly run through the side because there's some interesting stuff in here. We're on triple Droll.
Nice.
If you're only activating 1 hand trap, it should be a hand trap that wins the game, i.e.
Yeah.
Droll, Nib, Shifter.
Yeah.
This is the one that's most useful in this deck. 3 Dark Ruler. Again, all of your board breakers, that's why we're fine main decking evenly, can just be sent for cost for your effects.
Sweet.
If you're not going to use them. 1 Duster.
Good card.
Good card. 2 Dogwood.
What?
Only had room for 2.
It's a really good card. That's
Also
all.
wins in time.
Yeah.
Also, if your opponent is on like hard combo and you drop this,
Yeah.
it's effectively maxi because you will gain enough life
Yeah.
in game 2 or 3 that
No,
they
yeah.
just can't beat you. I think I went up to 40k in a game the
Did,
other day.
did, yeah. I was watching, I think it was 38,000. Or
Yeah,
50,
yeah, something like that. And it's just like, again, you're chump blocking with Hugin and stuff,
Yeah.
they're never getting you back down. Then we are on the 3 Gravity Collapse.
Sweet.
This is an older card. It is unbelievably broken.
Yeah.
If you're not familiar, it's a counter trap, so it's damn near impossible to chain to. You send a face-up synchro you control to the grave when your opponent summons a monster. Negate the summon, destroy that card. Your opponent cannot summon for the rest of the turn.
Yeah, that, like...
They banned 1 turn skip, and this deck has a better one. So,
Might as well.
yeah, I would not leave home without that. And then this is a tech that's actually super nice into a lot of decks right now. Play the 1 Immortal Dragon for Necroworld Banshee to activate Zombie World.
Yeah, Ubel does struggle. With,
Ubel is
Yeah.
hard pressed to beat this,
Yeah, they have
as are
to-
a lot of more niche decks like this is an FTK against Flu.
Yeah. I've seen it. No, I've seen a lot of people side this into decks, and literally most decks, the only way they can out it in like game 1 or whatever is by making an SP.
Yeah. Again, like Tenpai struggles with it. There
Oh,
a lot of decks, especially ones that are reliant on like Shifter and the new Mulcharmy that are going to become more popular,
Yeah.
have a really hard time outing just Zombie World. And again, you're making it with a board. The other thing to mention is that this guy becomes a level 2 tuner
Yeah.
when you've sent the Necroworld, which is another reason I prefer the Tri-Edge over the Coral Dragon, because then these two can make your Diabell.
Sweet.
And that's with the tuner Synchro as well.
Nice. Love zombies.
So yeah, that's the deck. I'm super happy with it. It's taken home a few locals, and I'm looking forward to bringing it to a bigger tournament.
Hopefully, but yeah, again, please like, comment, subscribe, help your boys try to get to that 1K subscribers, and see you.